Caio right here. Obviously, in your last performance, I think even you admitted that you weren't 100% going into that after the weight cut in August and then going into that fight. So, I guess physically, how are you feeling, and how's just life been in camp and everything preparing for this one?
Yeah, right now I feel 100%. I feel myself again. I get to know myself a little bit more. I dig really deep, get this self-known even better, and I think that's where my power comes from, because I know myself so much right now. And yeah, 100% motivated, happy, ready to fucking rock and roll.
I've seen a lot of your interviews, and you do talk a lot about that self-reflection between then and now. So I guess how much of that played a factor in between then and now?
Everything. You play a factor on everything in my life. Being a fighter, being a human being, being a dad, being a husband, being a son. I just learned how to be more present in all these aspects of my life, And sometimes I feel the fighters just see themselves as fighters. And fighter is just one face of myself. I have a lot of other ones, and I get to know them a little bit more. I get to accept them a little bit more, and I feel better than ever.
And after that performance, a lot of the talk was about, you, Rufi, Jean Silva, you all came up short, but then they got back into the win column, and now it's your turn. How motivating is that to continue this, prove that the Fighting Nerds never left, we just had to speak?
Yeah, it's the comeback season, and no one's going to stop that, We got back with our team. We got the connection back. We put our feet on the ground a little bit more, and you guys are seeing the results. I just feel proud of the guys, happy for them. And I was the first one to get into the UFC, and I'll be the last one to complete the comeback season.
I think I saw one of your coaches with Dark Nerds shirt. What exactly is that about?
That's a brand from Fighting Nerd, but from my coach, Flávio Álvaro. He's a big legend in Brazil. He has more than 80 fights. He fought with no gloves, no rules, and he's a very respected guy in Brazil, and he has this kind of mentality of dark nerds, because as the Fighting Nerds, we're all laughing and being nice to everyone, and being in a good mood and all that. But he brings this other energies, the yin and yang, He brings this other energy. If you see in all the fights, even when we win, we get bonuses, we get the knockouts or finishes. He's never laughing. He's always like that, So he did himself a brand from Fighting Nerds, and it's very nice.
I saw another interview where you said you like to watch a lot of tape and study your opponents. So I guess, what do you make of Reinier as an opponent? And can you take anything away from his last fight? Because he said even he wasn't 100% in that one.
We can always take away from every fight that someone does, He can take away from my fight with Imavov, and I wasn't 100%, but he can take away something, I just think he's kind of, I don't know, lying to himself or something like that. I think he showed a lot of patterns that he showed on the last fight, but he showed in all the other fights the same pattern, And I think he's a great fighter, awkward style on the feet, pressure fighter, and very, very good on grappling. And I respect him as a fighter a lot, and I'm expecting to come the best Reinier the Reader ever.
You come from a grappling background. You said he's a great grappler. Are you expecting him to try to shoot and take you down, or what are you expecting in there?
100% he's going to shoot. If he doesn't shoot, I think he's out of his mind, because he knows which guys are striking already. With Imavov, one of the best strikers in the division. Look what I did to Cannonier. Look what I did to Paul Craig. So 100% he's going to try to take me down and choke me, and that's the only way that he can get a win on Saturday, And if you see the data, in his last 5 fights, he was already grappling, and he shooted before 1 minute in every 5 fights. So 100% he's going to shoot again.
And just last one for me. What do you make of the middleweight division right now? Because both of you and Reinier lost your last fights, and your opponents, they don't even have fights booked. Hamzat doesn't have a fight book. Dricus doesn't have a fight booked. Strickland just won. So what do you make of kind of this division all as a whole?
It's just out of my control. I just need to be worrying about myself and the things that I control. But the division is stuck. But at the same way, it's very competitive. We have a lot of guys coming from a lot of wins, for sure. Some of them got the losses, you know. So I was 7-win streak and lost. Reinier was 5-win streak and lost. We got Anthony Hernandez with 8-win streak and lost. So that shows how competitive this middleweight division are right now. But it's just stuck. But it is what it is. Let's make some movements on that.
Caio, over here.
Thank you.
Over here, Caio.
Yes.
Usually when fighters tend to win fights and come into a win streak, they tend to forget to change stuff, even if they get stuck somewhere. Would you say you changed a lot in this fight camp because of the last loss?
Technically, not much. I would say too, not much, because I think it was more about myself, my motivation, and the why I'm still doing it, and the connection with the team. Because one thing that happened is that our team, the growth was so rapid and so crazy, but a little bit unorganized, you know what I mean? And at some point, the connection between us and our coaches was just messy, you know what I mean? To example for you, when the UFC came to me with the backup fight, I said yes, and I came to them, I didn't even told them, like, what do you guys think? I just came to them and said, let's go. I already accepted. So that shows a little bit the connection, a little bit messy. Because if it was back in the days, I would came to him and say, what do you guys think? Do you think we should take or not? And let's do what most of us want to do, you know? So I think right now the connection got back, you know? We're already connected. We're staying together for so many weeks. We are happy doing that. And this is already reflecting on the fights that you guys saw from Carlos, Rufy, Gene, and it's going to do the same reflection on Saturday night.
Would you say because of the losses, the tension grew, or would you say it was part of becoming more famous and getting all the attention?
Yeah, it was way before the losses. Actually, the losses was good for us because make that connection come back, you know what I mean? But right before the losses, we were, maybe our feet were a little bit out of the ground, you know what I mean? We were too much overestimated. And sometimes this puts you in a comfort zone and it's not good for you in this high-level sport.
Last question for me. You're a data guy. You all are data guys. You watch a lot of stuff on your opponents. Looking at Reinier, you say he has an awkward style, yet he has a pattern which you see through the fights. Could you take us through it and say, what do you see is the pattern where you could win?
No, I cannot tell you that, sorry.
No worries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Caio over here, straight down the middle. Caio, prior to the last fight, there were some people saying, you know, maybe it was a bad idea to weigh in as the backup and then have a fight, do another camp, do another weight cut. Now looking back, do you wish you had not made the decision to weigh in for the Hamzat fight?
100% it was a bad idea, but I don't regret it. That's all I need to say about it. It was an experience. I took the best of it, and I learned it. So why is better in life than learning? Keep learning, right? You know?
And then one thing I find funny about you is that I feel like even compared to a lot of other middleweights, a lot of the other top contenders always seem to talk about how much they like you as a person. Caio is so nice, I get along with him. You're obviously very respectful. This might sound odd, but is it ever difficult for you to get fights? It feels like you know a lot of people and a lot of people just like you, so maybe you're not high on their list to get in the cage with.
I don't know. Like, I'm here to fight anybody, you know what I mean? But sometimes when you have a lot of options on the table, why you fight guys that like are your friends? If it's not for like #1 contender sport or go to the title contender or something like that, you know? But I like Brendan Allen, Anthony Hernandez, all these guys, but I would fight them, you know? I think the only guy that I wouldn't fight maybe is Michel Pereira. That is like big brother for me. We're very connected. And even Sean Strickland is a very good friend of mine. I really like this guy. They offered this fight already, but it wasn't for number one contender fight, you know. So we did so many rounds in the team that the fight would be so boring for people, you know. But right now is, you know, the division is messy, it's competitive, so I'm willing to fight anyone.
I understand this might be a more personal question to do with your friends, but I do want to ask, do you see a day where Jean and Rufi will be friends again?
100%, you know, like, they don't need to love each other. They just need to respect the environment, you know? They being both in the same environment, working, maybe not working together or not loving each other or not having dinner together or something like that, but respectfully, you know, we're a team. The team is a unit, and everyone needs to respect that. So it's just like, it was just emotion going out in interviews, you know, when Jan said, oh, me and Rufi never anymore, and this and that. It was just emotions, you know. You cannot take too serious all that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Kyle. I wanted your opinion and your prediction on your teammate John Silva rematching Bryce Mitchell in a grappling match.
I think Jan got it done, you know. I think people saw him finishing Bryce Mitchell. For sure, it was an MMA fight. It wasn't like a grappling match. But people don't realize how good Gene is on grappling, you know. I think you guys saw the fight against Diego Lopez, and all you guys said, like, oh, his grappling is not good and all that. But to be honest, he got caught off guard. He tried like a spinning shit. Diego is very good at grappling, took his back. And when he mounted him, the elbow made him dizzy. So it's hard for you to grapple and to be technically good and get out of positions when you're like out of your consciousness, you know. So people, you know, people see, and I think John gets it done.
And then also, I mean, talking about yourself, maybe are there any fun matchups that you would do in a grappling match, possibly?
Yeah, 100%. I think all top 10 is fun match at grappling, you know. I already did with Brandon Allen, and I dominated him. So I can do this to the rest of the division too. See you.
Caio, following your loss to Imavov, you posted an expression online that says, defeat teaches, reveals, and builds. So my question to you is, what have you learned, seen, and developed since your last fight?
Myself, no. I got time to know myself better. You know, I say that when a guy knows himself so much, that's when he closest to God, you know? And I think I just developed all that, the self-know, get to know myself, be aware of my actions, my words, and my mind, what I'm thinking. And that's the most thing that I developed after my loss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one here. There's some clips going around of the face-off you and Reinier just did back there. What did you see out of there? What was just your takeaways from getting to size him up in that situation?
Oh, big guy, very awkward body. I faced a guy like him. It was Abus. He's very awkward, like, you know, long arms and the shoulders very high and all that. But you know, that's the fight business. We are used to that, and nothing to take away like, oh, he was afraid and this and that. I think people just say that to feel more confident, and I don't need that, you know. I think over there was two high-level guys wanting to kill each other and just waiting for Saturday. That's it. Thank you, guys. Let me take a picture with my meta glasses, please. Let's go.